So my name is Christian Weaver. I joined Chambers as a pupil in 2019, and I practice in inquests, public inquiries, actions against the state, and I do some parole board work too. In terms of why I chose Garden Court North, I really liked the idea of being in a Chambers that was ethos driven and where our ethos informed and guided all of the work that we do. So that was perhaps the biggest part for me, and it was always important that the work I was doing actually benefited and impacted society. I didn't want to be a lawyer in any type of chambers, but specifically a type of chambers where in every case you take on, you feel society is being bettered that bit by that work. And I think in terms of what's led to me staying, I genuinely like the people I work with. Not only are they colleagues, but they're friends. They're people that I'm able to ask for support when it comes to professional related matters and even personal related matters as well. It's genuinely a friendly environment to work within. And of course, it's, Garden Court North Chambers is in the city of Manchester, and Manchester is a beautiful city to live and work in. So all of those factors combined have made me really pleased that I joined GCN, but really happy to stay here as well. I'd say 50% of my practice is either inquest or public inquiry related. And I'd say that the other 50% is taking legal action against the state, whether that be a police force or a prison service or parole board work. And I've found it actually very easy to diversify my practice. There's been a lot of support in chambers for me to do so, particularly from the clerks. But of course, other members of chambers too have diverse practices. So you find that when you are in that transition period, there are colleagues you can turn to for support who are always very willing to help. And of course, because there is that real breadth that exists within chambers generally, the chambers behind the scenes system is geared towards that as well, in terms of billing these different types of cases, books being in chambers that can assist. So I find it actually quite easy, and I'd say that it's supported or made me a better barrister as well, because there's added context I often have in relation to cases I'm working on, because of things I've perhaps read when practicing in a different area of law. So it's something I found very beneficial, but something that I also feel Garden Court North has really facilitated too. GCN genuinely has a friendly atmosphere. I think when you're working in the types of law that GCN does, so whether that be public inquiries or inquests, you're often dealing with very tragic matters and emotionally intense matters as well. I think being in a chambers that's friendly, supportive, enables you to be a better advocate in court because you're coming from a supportive place. I'd say in addition, we're genuinely ethos driven. And that means that when you step into chambers, if you share our ethos, you are genuinely being surrounded by like-minded people, which is nice. And I'd say finally, and perhaps where I think we differ the most in some ways, but as barristers at GCN, we genuinely have control over our diaries. So that means that, let's say we need to take a bit of time off, we genuinely can communicate that to the clerks, and there isn't an issue. And having spoken to colleagues at other chambers or members of other chambers, I've realized that that's a luxury we have here at GCN that isn't necessarily afforded to barristers out of the chambers, but I feel does help you to become a better advocate because you do genuinely feel rested.